The story begins with the humorous antics of an obstetrician, Gong Ryong, who is funded by a massive 70 billion won to undertake a test flight into space as both a tourist and a doctor. The scene shifts to a heated debate between high-ranking officials and the princess, revealing that Gong Ryong is the potential son-in-law of the princess. However, the princess does not approve of her father's plan to send her future husband into space. The plot progresses by showcasing advancements in technology, particularly the establishment of the International United Space Institute, IOU, the largest space institute in the world. On October 25, 2024, at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, the GO-10 system is ready for launch. Despite the tension surrounding the launch, the comedic element is introduced by Gong Ryong, played by Lee Min-ho, who appears clueless and out of place in this space mission. He is a gynecologist by profession, and the reason for his participation in the space mission becomes clear: he paid a substantial sum of money to join. Gong Ryong's mission into space is tied to a secretive agenda. Alongside two experienced commanders, Korean-American astronaut Eve Kim and another male commander, Santiago Gonzalez, they embark on the mission. Gong Ryong is the only one who seems panicked, and the mystery surrounding his involvement in the mission deepens. As the plot unfolds, it is revealed that Gong Ryong is actually the boyfriend of the MZ Group's daughter, and she is deeply in love with him. However, her father has not yet accepted Gong Ryong as his future son-in-law. The twist comes when it is disclosed that Gong Ryong's involvement in the mission is not just for adventure. The MZ Group, one of the largest conglomerates, paid 70 billion won to send him into space, and he has risked his life for the sake of his father-in-law. Despite the financial motivations, Gong Ryong's commitment to the mission hints at a deeper, more personal sacrifice that will unravel as the story progresses. The space journey is not only a test of technology but also of relationships and hidden secrets. It turns out there is a deeply touching scene in the story, as it is revealed that the person being memorialized for their death was the son of the company's leader. The young man died while trying to save workers during a workplace accident. The incident involved a forklift falling, and his heroic attempt to save others led to his tragic death. The narrative takes a slightly monotonous and uneventful pace as the story progresses, with the characters going through their daily routines. However, one fateful night, as Gong Ryong is returning home from work, he experiences a life-changing accident. This marks the beginning of his encounter with the daughter of the MZ Group's leader. The story then delves into a critical moment where the daughter of the MZ Group leader is in great distress. She is undergoing a medical procedure, and for some reason, she cannot be sedated normally. In her agitation, she demands surgical scissors and other tools, murmuring to herself, expressing doubt about whether there is any man in this world who can be trusted. In this tense situation, Gong Ryong, trying to reassure her, calmly explains that the anesthesia process is underway and that she needs to trust him and remain still. He urges her to stop overthinking and to allow the procedure to proceed smoothly. This moment highlights a deeper connection forming between the two, setting the stage for their complex relationship. It also reflects the vulnerability and the internal struggles they both face, though they are seemingly worlds apart in terms of their roles and social status. The scene serves as a turning point for their emotional journey together. It turns out that Lee Min-ho, playing the character Gong Ryong, finds himself in a difficult situation. After a series of events, he ends up fleeing to the nearest hospital, but he is soon kidnapped by workers from the company. He is brought face to face with the company's leader in a car, which sets the stage for more drama to unfold. Following this incident, the daughter of the company leader continues to stalk Gong Ryong. One night, while he is drunk and entering a local eatery, known as Warteg, in Indonesia, she appears. In his drunken state, Gong Ryong becomes increasingly bold and replies to her stern words with sarcasm, telling her, "You are no ordinary woman, you are a woman I already know." This moment becomes unexpectedly intimate when Gong Ryong, in his intoxication, suddenly tries to kiss her. But as fate would have it, he loses balance and falls right back into her arms. The storyline then takes a sudden shift, with both Gong Ryong and the leader's daughter finding themselves in a more personal and somewhat reckless situation. The two of them are shown moving from the Warteg to an apartment, where they engage in an intimate and somewhat mischievous interaction. However, as the scene progresses, Gong Ryong is left to ponder whether this encounter is truly a result of revenge, love, or simply desire. His inner turmoil reflects his confusion about the deeper motivations behind their growing connection, leaving him to question if this is a moment of vengeance or something more emotional. This internal struggle becomes a pivotal point in the story, as it explores the fine line between passion, love, and unresolved emotions. Suddenly, the scene shifts as the daughter of the company leader receives a phone call from outer space. It turns out that the call isn't from Gong Ryong, but rather from the prospective fiancé, the candidate chosen by the leader of the MZ group. This call serves as a reminder that he is the one who has been approved by the company's leader, and it becomes clear that the father has given his blessing for this union. The conversation intensifies when the astronaut, who is also vying for the daughter's affection, argues, "If the man you like isn't better than me, your father will never support him. Your father still has sympathy for me. This means we are still in a relationship." The daughter, frustrated and furious by the astronaut's bold statement, slams the phone down. The tension rises as the characters' emotions become more tangled, revealing the complexities of relationships, approval, and unresolved feelings within the powerful family dynamics. The struggle between the two suitors intensifies, and the daughter's internal conflict becomes more evident as she navigates her feelings for both men. The scene takes an awkward and somewhat confusing turn here, as the female character, the daughter of the company leader, tries to avoid the operation. Meanwhile, Gong Ryong, Lee Min-ho, insists that the surgery must take place. The tension between them rises due to the confined space of the room, and it's clear that there's an uneasy atmosphere between the two. Their feelings are uncertain, but it's evident that something uncomfortable lingers in the air as the situation escalates. As the stitching process is about to begin, it turns out that the anesthesia needle is missing. Gong Ryong becomes adamant about finding the needle, but the flight crew insists on proceeding with the stitching without it. This leads to an intense argument between the two, highlighting the stark differences in their priorities and approaches to the situation. This scene feels unsettling in some ways, as the tension between Gong Ryong and the woman hints at the beginnings of a complicated and possibly inappropriate relationship. There are moments where their glances and interactions seem like they are subtly admiring each other, raising questions about the nature of their feelings toward one another. After the operation is completed, Gong Ryong heads down to the control room, leaving the woman alone in the operating room. In a quiet moment, Gong Ryong mutters to himself about the most beautiful toes he's ever seen and operated on, hinting at his growing infatuation or admiration for her. The film then closes on this note, leaving the audience with a sense of unresolved emotions and possible future complications. And with that, the episode ends. There may be more developments ahead, and perhaps the complex dynamics between these characters will continue to unfold in future scenes. The story begins with an introduction to a space mission involving advanced medical experiments in outer space. The mission is launched by the South Korean government with support from major private companies. One of the main objectives of this mission is to conduct biological experiments aimed at studying the effects of microgravity on various aspects of human health, including aging and genetic diseases. The primary focus of the mission is the launch of a biological module that can host experiments involving plants, cells, and microorganisms to research the impact of weightlessness on these biological systems. One key character in the mission is Gong Liang-si, Mr. Dinosaur, a medical expert who will lead a crucial experiment. Mr. Dinosaur, along with his team, will investigate how the space environment affects human health, with the goal of addressing issues like infertility and other diseases that can be studied in space. The mission team consists of scientists and doctors with expertise in various fields, selected for their ability to handle these advanced experiments. Each member has a different role, but their shared goal is to explore how space factors can affect human biology in ways that have not been understood before. During the first part of the story, the author also introduces the challenges and conflicts among the characters involved. Although they are working as a team, tensions arise regarding roles and responsibilities in the mission. One example of this tension occurs when a character is dissatisfied with their position in the mission and jokes about who should be in charge. This adds a touch of humor to the story while also reflecting the social dynamics among the scientists and other team members. Ultimately, the first part of the story provides an overview of the grand ambition behind the space mission, as well as the careful preparation and potential interpersonal challenges that might arise during the experiments. The story builds expectations for the upcoming experiments and highlights the importance of collaboration and scientific expertise in overcoming these major challenges. One of the best examples of this teaching is the relationship between Gong Ryong and the daughter of the MZ group leader. As the story unfolds, it becomes clear that the leader's daughter, who is caught up in her confusion about her feelings toward Gong Ryong, begins to realize that she cannot continue to be trapped by her parents' hopes and expectations. Amidst her guilt and confusion, she learns to stop giving excessive attention to what her father thinks she should have and decides to follow what she truly wants.